Thank you so much. Joining me, we have Washington Congressman Adam Smith. He is the ranking Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee. Congressman, why wouldn't the president have come to Congress before launching these strikes?
Well, there's multiple layers here. I mean, I think the most important thing is what your previous panel discussed, that we've now just, stepped into a war with Iran. The president seems to think that he can do this and Iran just won't respond. That's not going to happen. We are now in a conflict with Iran with all the unpredictability and danger that comes with that. And we don't even know for sure exactly what was destroyed in those strikes. So the policy going forward is really important. As for the notification process, it's incredibly disturbing that the president would take a partisan approach to this. That is unprecedented. Now, presidents have at various times weaseled their way around the Constitution and the War Powers Resolution in a bunch of different ways. But clearly, the Constitution and the law says that Trump should have notified Congress before doing this. He did not have authorization for this. There's no credible argument for self-defense. There's no authorization for the use of military force. This is a violation of the law. It's not unprecedented. What is unprecedented is for the partisan approach that the president took on this.
And I should say that you did advise earlier this week against striking Iran. Are you aware, sir, of any new intelligence that may have pushed the White House into action right now?
No, I don't think there was any new intelligence. I think the president received an enormous amount of pressure from Prime Minister Netanyahu in Israel. And also, I think the president felt that Israel was winning. And he wanted to get in on that, and he wanted to be part of this successful strategy. You remember when this started, President Trump, by all reports, had asked Israel not to launch the attack that they launched on Iran. He didn't want to go there, and then he wound up there. It sounds to me like he got sort of dragged into this by what happens a lot of times. Yes, we have civilian control of the military, but the military will come and tell the civilian control, if we just did this, we can win, this will work, there won't be any problems. And we've gotten in a lot of trouble taking that advice in a whole number of different places. And I'm pretty confident the president just got us in a lot of trouble in Iran.
So to that extent, what are your concerns, let's say, about threats to U.S. personnel and interests in the region?
I think those threats are coming. I mean, Iran is going to respond. We have bases throughout Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Iraq, Syria. We have some force protection methods. They're not foolproof. Iran will attack, and then the question is, then what do we do? How do we respond to that attack? The president has said we would respond forcefully, and there's your escalation. And for all the success that Israel has had, if you look at the map of Iran, there's a massive part of Iran in the south that Israel has not touched, where there are a lot of missiles and drones capable of attacking those U.S. targets. There's no effort to degrade that capability right now. So Iran is still a capable power, and we don't know. And it's so troubling to have the president come out and say, we obliterated their nuclear program, all good, we're done. That is not what happened. All right, we don't know. We don't know how much of it destroyed, but it's reasonable to assume, as one of your previous guests said, that in the last week or two, Iran has been moving stuff around. They certainly saw what was coming. So I guess we can hope at this point that this forces Iran to the negotiating table. But that seems highly unlikely. An escalating conflict in the region is the much more likely outcome.
What is the line across which that it's inevitable and we're in?
Yeah. Well, I mean, sorry, we've already crossed that line in terms of there being a conflict. I mean, there's no line in the way you just described it where no war, except for the fact that we just bombed them. What's going to happen? I don't know. Like I said, I think it's highly unlikely that Iran is just going to let this go. And that seems to be the president's plan, that we will hit them this hard and they'll cave. And that's an enormous risk, given what escalation could mean. So I guess to answer your question, we crossed that line. We bombed Iran. We are in a conflict with Iran now until we come to some sort of negotiated settlement. And I don't think anyone can predict when that would be.
Congressman Adam Smith, I appreciate very much you weighing in on all this. Thank you, sir. How the president's 2-week window factored into the U.S. airstrikes on Iran.